The oceans of our planet are vast and full of mysteries. Therefore, it isn't surprising that for centuries people have been finding amazing things in their depths, from ancient statues and cities to military artifacts and previously unknown life forms. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So today we prepared for you a selection of underwater discoveries that you may never even have heard of. But they raise many questions among scientists. Now, despite the continuous scientific and technological progress, the process of creating wine remains a mystery shrouded in mysticism. And what if we were to couple it with another mystery, the secret of the deep sea? In 2010, a sunken ship was discovered between Sweden and Finland. It was carrying 168 bottles of Vieux Clicquot and jugular champagne. They were produced in the period between 1839 and 1841. The wine was tasted, and it turned out that it was not only suitable for drinking, but also acquired an excellent taste. The bottles were rated as well preserved and then successfully sold at an auction. It is believed that it was this discovery that laid the foundation for the creation of underwater wineries. Basically, the underwater conditions, stable temperature and lack of light, allow the wine to age somewhat faster than when it is stored under standard ground conditions. The wreckage of one of the most famous lost ships of the 17th century was discovered off the coast of Norfolk in the UK. It sank 340 years ago, nearly claiming the life of the future King of England, James II. Ever since the Gloucester ran aground a sandbank on May 6, 1682, and then broke in half and sank to the seabed, its exact location has been lost. It was found in 2007 by two diver brothers, but the discovery was only recently made public. Gloucester was launched in London in 1654. In 1682, it was chosen to ferry James Stuart, Duke of York, to Edinburgh to get his pregnant wife and other family members. On May 6, Gloucester ran aground about 45 kilometers away from Great Yarmouth, a city in the county of Norfolk. It happened as a result of a dispute between the future king and the captain about sailing among the treacherous sandbanks of Norfolk. The Duke, a former Lord Admiral, challenged the decisions of the crew, which eventually led to a disaster that cost the lives of hundreds of passengers and crew members. The Duke himself barely escaped, holding off on evacuation until the very last moment. The diver brothers kept the find secret for 15 years to keep it safe from treasure hunters, as the ship was discovered in international waters. Divers discovered the wreckage of Amelia Earhart's plane near the island of Buka, Papua New Guinea, at a depth of about 30 meters. The plane disappeared without a trace in 1937 in the Pacific Ocean. A piece of glass was found in the wreckage, which could have been part of the landing light of the Lockheed Electra L-10E, the twin-engine monoplane in which Earhart set off on her final flight. According to the researchers, the pilot's route went by Buka Island, but no one had searched this place before. However, there is no conclusive evidence yet that could prove that it really was Earhart's aircraft. Nevertheless, there's a group of enthusiasts who intend to study new fragments. They hope to be able to identify the aircraft by the unique details of the Lockheed Electra, designed specifically for a long flight. Let me remind you that Amelia Earhart was flying over the Pacific Ocean when her plane disappeared from the radar on July 2, 1937. Extensive searches turned up nothing. Neither the remains nor the aircraft itself has yet been found. There are still many myths going around about Amelia Earhart's story. Some claim that she lost her way, ended up on a desert island, and even survived and was captured by Japanese soldiers. But researchers can neither prove nor disprove any of them yet. The wreckage of the Spanish galleon San Jose, which sank over 300 years ago, was found at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean near the Colombian city of Cartagena. The ship was attacked by British pirates, who besieged the ships of the Spanish crown, which exported wealth overseas. At the time of the attack, there was a cargo of 11 million gold coins on board San Jose. The approximate estimate of the precious cargo is between $4 and $17 billion. The flagship San Jose left the shipyards in the province of Jipizoca in 1698. It set on its route from the port of Portobello in the Caribbean Sea current-day Panama, in the early summer of 1708. Before returning to Spain with the cargo of gold, silver, and precious stones from the Viceroyalty of New Granada and Peru, the ship had to stop in the port of Cartagena. San Jose set sail together with another Spanish galleon, San Joaquin. Both ships were escorted by smaller vessels of the Royal Navy, and both never arrived at their destination. On June 8th, British pirates of the Caribbean Sea boarded the Spanish ships. The heavy load didn't allow the galleons to increase speed. After getting hit by British artillery, San Jose sank very quickly. None of the 600 members of the ship's crew survived, and the valuable cargo sank before the pirates could get to it. When the Colombian authorities announced the long-awaited discovery, they didn't say anything about the long-standing legal battle with the U.S.-registered Sea Search Armada, SSA, whose division located the sunken galleon back in 1981. The SSA is seeking billions of dollars in damages from the Colombian government for breach of contract. But in 2011, a U.S. court ruled that the galleon was Colombian property. Underwater archaeologists have discovered the Endurance barkentine of Ernest Shackleton, leader of the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition. It was crushed by ice in the Weddell Sea in 1915. The expedition consisted of two groups of 28 people on two ships. They planned to cross the Antarctic continent at its narrowest point, about 2,900 kilometers. To do this, Shackleton wanted to sail to the coast of the Weddell Sea, spend the winter there, and set sail for McMurdo Sound during the local summer. One of the ships, Aurora, broke loose from its anchorage off Ross Island in McMurdo Sound. The crew barely managed to reach New Zealand. Meanwhile, Endurance made its way through the ice. It didn't reach the coast, as it got caught in the ice. The crew stayed on board for a while until the hull began to break, which forced Shackleton to set up a camp on the ice. The situation was desperate. Most of the food was carried by the Aurora. In the spring of 1916, the crew reached Elephant Island. Shackleton and 5 other volunteers from the crew left on a boat for the island of South Georgia. They sailed for over 1,500 kilometers in never-ending storms, including 9.1s. Then Shackleton set about to organize the rescue of the rest of the crew from Elephant Island. In August 1916, the Endurance crew was rescued. All 28 people survived. According to the researchers who found Shackleton's ship, Endurance is well preserved. Even the inscription Endurance is still visible on the stem. The oldest wreck that remained intact was discovered by underwater archaeologists off the coast of Bulgaria. The Greek merchant ship, which lay at the bottom of the Black Sea for 2,400 years, has its 23-meter hull preserved, as well as the mast, helm, and rowing benches. It was found in the famous Cemetery of Sunken Ships, where scientists have already studied the remains of 67 shipwrecks. The architecture of the ancient ship is an exact copy of the Argo, the ship of Odysseus, depicted on the Greek vase of the Sirens, which is kept in the British Museum. The vase depicts a part of the myth about the ancient Greek hero, who ordered to tie him to the mast so as not to succumb to the sweet singing of the sirens. Now archaeologists know that the artist depicted a real vessel and not an imaginary one. The merchant ship was discovered at a depth of 2 kilometers, 80 kilometers off the coast of Bulgaria, in anoxic waters, which allowed organic materials to be preserved. Radiocarbon dating confirmed the age of the ship. It is from 400 BC. The archaeologists believe that the ship sank in a severe storm. There were 15 to 20 rowers on it, but they also raised the sail in a fair wind. They plan to leave the ship on the seabed because lifting it to the surface is extremely expensive and complicated, and requires the dismantling of the hull. This discovery will change our knowledge of ships and shipbuilding in the ancient world. Well, that's all for today. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you learned anything new in the comments, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe to our channel too. We'll see you next time.